Creating flexibility through our muscles and joints is something that many of us probably prioritize in our fitness and wellness routines. Because throughout the years, society has put so much emphasis on the importance of looking a particular way or looking good in general, that leads to individuals definitely prioritizing more so their physical well-being versus their emotional and mental well-being. And that brings me to the point of this video. I bet you may have never thought of the amazing benefits that come from having a flexible nervous system. Do I have you maybe a little curious? If so, be sure to keep watching because I'm sharing 5 reasons why you should be creating a more flexible nervous system. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Dominique, and on this channel, I help you heal wholeheartedly, mind, body, and soul so you can live your best life. If this type of inspiration sounds like something you're desiring in your life, then I invite you to hit subscribe down below. So flexibility of the nervous system, also known as resilience, is such an important part to our overall physical and mental well-being, but unfortunately, it's just not spoken about enough. We're gonna jump right into the 5 reasons, starting with number 1, which is that it widens your window of tolerance. The window of tolerance is the ability for one to process and overcome hardships without getting stuck in an overactive state or underactive state. Now, for the month of March, I created the Nervous System Regulation 101 series. If you haven't watched that yet, then I highly suggest after this video, you hop over to that playlist. I'll leave it here linked in the cards because that's where you will get a better understanding of what I mean by under and overactive state. The goal of building flexibility throughout the nervous system is to widen this window of tolerance. When our window of tolerance is very narrow, we're more likely and more easily to get stuck in a state of either hopelessness, sadness, depression, which would be your underactive state, or potentially in the overactive state, which is where anxiety, fear, hypervigilance, and so much more occurs. And maybe you're somebody who can relate because I know for me, when my window of tolerance was much more narrow, I was constantly getting stuck in the overactive state. So I was constantly feeling anxious and on edge, and I would stay within that state for a long period of time. When building a flexible nervous system, we do enter into those states still, but we're not lingering. We're able to more easily process the feelings and emotions and to then bring ourselves back into a neutral environment where we're feeling present and connected. So again, the wider the window of tolerance, the more flexibility and resilience you have of your nervous system. The second reason is that it reduces inflammation. Now, again, in past videos, I've discussed some about the benefits of improving the health of our vagus nerve because our vagus nerve, which is our 10th cranial nerve, has a great effect on the inflammatory response in your body. So when we build greater flexibility of our nervous system, we're in turn reducing the inflammatory response within our body. When we experience sore muscles and joints for no particular reason, this is a signal that we can be having and experiencing dysregulation within the nervous system. So when implementing practices that help us in regulating the vagus nerve, this is kind of a twofold situation. We're, of course, improving the health of our vagus nerve, which is what aids in reducing inflammation, but we're also working to widen that window of tolerance and create flexibility throughout the nervous system. Reason number 3 is that it improves connection and relationship with others. So maybe you have someone or a few people in your life that you really love hanging out with, But there's times where you get triggered by being around them and you honestly have no idea why. And maybe that leaves you feeling really on edge and uncomfortable and feeling like you want to withdraw from the person. And of course, this can be super frustrating and it can definitely be taxing on relationships. The less flexible and resilient our nervous system is, the more likely we're to withdraw and really close ourselves off from relationships. And this can really be problematic for ourselves, especially because we are biologically wired to need and thrive off of connection. And connecting with others that we feel safe and present with is one of the ways that we can begin to build greater flexibility and resilience through our nervous systems. Think of it as a young child and its mother. The mother is the mode of regulation for this young child. This is where the child and mother are able to co-regulate when the mother is there to comfort and connect with the child. So at birth, this is a requirement for us to function as human beings, for us to survive as human beings. And it's through these relationships of feeling safety and connected with individuals that our nervous system begins to thrive and build resiliency. So the more focus we put into maintaining a healthy nervous system, then the more rewarding our relationships will become. Reason number 4 is that it creates greater self-awareness. The polyvagal theory is something that I've talked about a few different times, and this is where I really get excited about the flexibility that I've built within my own nervous system, because it has helped me to create greater self-awareness. I've done a couple of videos on polyvagal theory, and I will make sure to link those down below if you would like to refer to them. But through practicing the polyvagal theory, I've been able to now identify what state of my nervous system I am maybe getting stuck in or just experiencing at a particular time. And when I identify this state, I have a list of go-to practices that aid me in returning back to the ventral vagal state, which is where we're feeling more connected, more present, and safe. With greater self-awareness, that also brings greater power and control over our own physical and mental well-being. The more we can understand and identify the specific triggers or emotions and feelings we're experiencing, then the easier it's going to be for us to respond more appropriately when we're faced with challenging situations, instead of us simply reacting out of habit. And the 5th reason is that a flexible nervous system is key to healing anxiety. Modern medicine, unfortunately, has continued to lead us into the idea that anxiety is mostly a chemical imbalance in the brain. Now, I am by no means putting down anyone's doctor and their capabilities and education, but I do want to bring to light that doctors are educated on a pharmaceutical model to treat symptoms. And while many symptoms we experience are very treatable, there are certainly others that then require pharmaceutical medication to be given to treat just simply the symptoms of something greater. And this is where anxiety comes in, because anxiety is not a diagnosis, it is a symptom. And until we address the root cause of these anxiety symptoms that you might be experiencing, then all the medication out there can certainly help to alleviate symptoms, but it will most likely fail to completely resolve the issue. And because so many practitioners and therapies continue to treat anxiety as a diagnosis versus a symptom, there's far too many people out there that are losing complete hope in their ability to heal their anxiety. I was one of those individuals for over 10 years. And my healing began when I decided to take my health into my own hands and look further into the why behind these symptoms. I knew there had to be a root cause, and I was ready to find it. And that's what brought me to learn about the nervous system and what it meant to have a flexible and resilient system. Now, I hope I struck up some curiosity with you, and curiosity to look into how resilient your nervous system really is and how you can maybe build resiliency to improve your connection and relationships with others, to improve your overall physical health from the inside versus simply the outside, and to simply be able to navigate life with more confidence and ease. To take this curiosity even a step further, I have a really fun free quiz for you that is linked down below. It's a super quick 10-question quiz that's going to give you greater insight into just how flexible and resilient your nervous system is. So take a look down below in the description box and click on that link to give it a go. If you've enjoyed this video, I would love for you to hit that like button to show me some love, and that way I know to continue making content just like this for you. If you haven't yet subscribed, then while you're down there, go ahead and do so, because I put out new content every week that you won't want to miss. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video, and until next time, sending you so much healing love.